You only see it right there. That's, you know, you guys don't see this, but it comes up live up in the corner here. And we wait and we wait and wait. Down there is like, no, it's not there. Anyway, hey guys, Joe Ducey, KJ here with ABC15. Let Joe know. Consumer Unit. We're doing something called What's Bugging You. Want to know what, we don't get time to really talk with you one-on-one because of all the work we're doing on the stories that we air. So we get a lot of questions about scams and about things that are happening. And so we're here to talk to you about some of the things that happen in your life, some of the things you spent money on, you wish you hadn't, some of the things you want to warn other people about. It could be upfront money. It could be, we're talking now actually about the holidays coming up. And Black Friday, Cyber Monday over. Did you spend any money?
I spent a little bit of money. I don't like spending money, so I'm always
No, you
like,
don't, man. You're pretty, we'll call you frugal. Cheap would be, I always tell it.
I'm budget friendly.
My wife, I always go with people, we talk about things. I said, yeah, we're cheap. I'm cheap. And Kathy's like, oh, you can't. Don't talk to people about being cheap. It's like what? I mean, you want a good deal, right?
Yeah, well, we did end up at the outlets, but I just walked around and there was too many people and I was like, I hate this and this is why I wasn't going to do this. But like we were saying, the number one gift cards, because everyone wants gift cards.
Gift cards. You were talking about gift cards. You bought them for your
that's all they want. So I buy them like a knick-knack and then gift cards.
There's a problem with gift cards though. That's what we're talking about. Number one issue here. We won't show it yet, but gift cards, well, we'll show it. Is that up? Is that me? Oh, it's up. All right. Let me, I wasn't going to get here that quickly, but these are gift cards what's really interesting about this graphic is it kind of shows you something I really think about. Problem with gift cards a lot of times, not a lot. Problem with gift cards sometimes is you go into, you get it, and then you find out there's no balance on it. People may have bought it from a carousel at a grocery store, at a Fry's or Safeway.
We're starting to see it even just this week. We've gotten a number of people writing in about it.
And it looks legitimate. You put it in, it's like you can't get any money. It's already been used, right? So then you're out. The store's not going to do much for you, that kind of thing. Well, there are ways you can kind of tell if these things have been tampered with. And this is one right here. You can see on the left here, it shows tampered with. Now, typically, when something's been tampered with when it's a gift card, it's glued back kind of permanently. So if you pull, not that you're going to be able to do this a lot, but if you pull it back a little bit and it's like there and you can't really do much more, you'd have to tear it. It looks like it's been re-glued because on the right is the right way. This is what it usually happens. It's usually glued the right way with rubber cement. So it's kind of where it's pliable. You can pull it up easily. And that's what this person learned when he was taken for like $300. They went through it with him, I think at Target, showing him the gift cards that are tampered with are the ones that are glued back permanently. And those that are safe, the ones that haven't been tampered with, have a pliable way to be able to remove the gift card from the place. I thought that was interesting because it's not, this seems more black and white than a lot of things I've heard. Mostly you can't really tell.
I like
unless
when
I
was
scraped off the back and redone,
unless they're like lotto tickets scraped off.
Yeah.
I like when I was getting gift cards, I was kind of like, this was in the back of the mind. And so instead of going out to like the open carousel that was like on whatever aisle and like easily accessible, I kept getting gift cards that were like kind of behind.
Yeah,
they weren't behind a counter, but they're really tough to reach. And I was like, surely no one's going to like go through this much effort. Like even with my arms, I was like struggling to get that.
You know, our volunteer team, we try to take care of them every holiday. And so we give them gift cards. And I do that through e-gift cards because I think that's the way to do it. If it's Amazon, it's an e-gift card. You can send them that way. It's safe. Otherwise, look behind the counter or ask them if they can do something. But a lot of times they're not behind the counter. They're out in front. And so I say, ask them for something behind they don't have them back there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a Fry's person is going to say, oh, I have these back here that, nobody's tampered with. So just be real careful when you buy gift cards because you don't know. Once the money's gone, it's gone.
I like the e-gift cards too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Like you said. All right. Next up, and this is also something that we're kind of seeing a lot. It can happen kind of like throughout the year, but obviously during the holidays, you're ordering stuff that's getting delivered or you're shipping things to other people. And so then this one person wrote into us, I've received 4 texts in the last 4 days from UPS, in quotes, regarding a package that cannot be delivered. For, quote, my convenience, a QR code was attached along with a link for them to respond to. Luckily, this person was a woman, deleted the text, blocked their numbers, and is telling everybody she knows about it, including us. So actually, this next picture that we have is she sent a screenshot kind of what this message was looking like. And so first of all, obviously a big sign. One, I think she had even added that she hadn't ordered a package, so she wasn't expecting anything. And then this isn't even USPS's website.
Yeah.
So that obviously another good thing, but kind of
Oh, so
but
the
it's not
dot USPS
the
GU.
GU.com. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not.
that's crucial. To look
Yeah,
at
so
that.
like looking at that, and it's not USPS, not just USPS. Like I got one a couple days ago from like FedEx, and you kind of one of the best things to do is, did I order something? Well, I had actually ordered
Yeah.
something that was going to be coming through FedEx, but it wasn't that, and that wasn't the shipping number, and it didn't match up. But one of the best things is, did you order it? Ask anyone else in your house, did you order it? Are you sending me something? And then for USPS, and I think you have it too, the like delivery notification, or what is it called?
Yeah.
Like where they let you know what's coming in your mail. That's also another great thing to use.
And a couple other things, I think. One, and it's not all the time, but when it's a government agency, it should say .gov. In this case, it may not. You may want to look that up online to see. But in most cases, if you get something, because a lot of government frauds come out and they're not .gov, and they should be. The website should be .gov. And also, never reply to any of these things. And you may have said that, but don't reply to them. Don't write back. Don't call them. If you think there's an issue, go to if it's an Amazon thing or whatever it is, go to your Amazon account. Go to Amazon directly. Go online and find out the real legitimate way to contact Amazon and do it that way. Because these guys are just all set up to scam you if you call them or you email them back. Reply to them. Okay.
Which kind of goes to the next one.
Let's go to the next one. Thank you. Hang on a second. Take that off a second, Julie. We have to build to this. We have to set the mood. So it's there we go. All right. So thank you. This is about websites that are unsafe and made up websites. And during the holidays, there are these, they usually overseas, and there are websites that are made up to look like legitimate websites. They may sound like it. It may be, Amazon-like or Walmart-like or Target-like. Geek Squad is a big one. They do that all the time. Best Buy's Geek Squad is very popular. Maybe to seniors, because I think that's who they're targeting. And we found a fake Geek Squad site that was trying to lure people in. Again, the way to get around that is not to call the number, not to write back, but to look at the real Best Buy Geek Squad online, or if you have an account with them, if you think there may be an issue. If you've never dealt with them and they say you owe money, you don't owe any money. I mean, that's the thing. But if you think there's an issue, check it out legitimately. So, Julie, yeah, if you put that on here, here's one way to do that. You go to Google and you can put in the website here, safe browsing site status. And they'll tell you if they've had any issues. And Google, is the number one by far browser. You can go through there and it will tell you whether they've had issues involving scams or things with that website. And I think that's one good way to protect yourself. Other ways are just to stick with things I mean, stick with the real, the legitimate places. Look for reviews online. I always say that. Even just put in the website name and scam, or the website name and review, and see what comes up. And you're going to get a lot of different things. Check it out with the BBB. They're always good to see how many complaints they've had, and and then look at Let Joe Know, of course, to see if we've had any stories about them.
I do that a lot with especially now with the holidays and like social media, and I'll be like scrolling and there'll be something, all of a sudden I'll have clicked on something and now I'm getting all these ads for something. And if I have decided, like there was something I decided to buy, but I was like, is this just like targeted social media? Is this actually a scam? Will this actually do what I want it to do? So I like Google this scam, this legit, this review, and kind of just like.
Well, Facebook Marketplace is a big place. People always get taken, those kinds of things. If you've got a complaint, let us know. We're on here for about another, 2 minutes? No, we got another about 20 minutes, I think. So, let us know if you've got any kind of, what happened with you? Did you buy something and then find out that it was from a not legitimate site and never get it? Did you get something that was not quality? Just let us know, and we'd like to talk to you a little bit about that, pass it on. All right, what's next with you?
So it's not necessarily holiday, but post-holiday is, you start getting the New Year's resolutions, obviously.
This is holiday, because this is the time people do this stuff.
Because they have holiday sales. Yeah, New Year's kind of. Signing up for gyms is basically what I'm talking about. So this person wrote in, they requested to cancel a gym contract. It was denied. They wanted to cancel the existing contract, which provides coaching for 3 sessions a week at, the different prices. Their goal was to go through, they basically signed up and they didn't want the coaching sessions. But I feel like this is.
Yeah, they push those coaching sessions all the time. You walk through that door in a new one. Hey, let me. No matter what shape you're in, it's like, hey, we can do this for you. They got all these programs anyway.
Which to be fair, I'm like quite a sucker. That's what my husband always pulls me away, because he's like, stop talking to people.
Oh, really?
Just stopping. Yeah, I just stop.
Wait, just for this stuff or anything?
Well, I guess for anything. But yeah, because you always say hi at the front counter and stuff. Man. And he's like, just say hi and keep going. I don't say hi. And they're like, oh, hey, this we're going to open up a spa. We got these gym classes.
So all the scammers watching right now are looking for your email address
Thank
at
you.
ABC15.com. We'll just call it KJ, so they'll never know. All right. Yeah.
But so
this
this
is a big one.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of people kind of maybe not know kind of how to cancel, how to go about that. So actually, the next slide, which did change in just the past couple of years. So, well, first of all, you have your right. You have to get your contract in writing, and that is part of the law in Arizona that you have a right to that. You need to get your contract in writing, get your own copy. But what I wanted to kind of point out was, so in 2021, when people going through the pandemic and people were having a hard time canceling their contracts, but because before this House Bill 2697, you had to cancel in person or by certified mail, and obviously you couldn't go into the gym, or a lot of people were trying to cancel because they were uncomfortable going to the gym and being in the enclosed place. So what this bill did allows people to suspend or cancel their contracts through email or other online services.
Yeah.
And what that means is, like, if your gym has like an online portal, things like that. So you don't have to go in person.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
And we've even had people write in who are saying, they're saying I have to go in person, or like I've moved and I can't do this. But that's not true.
Or is it still that you had to move within a certain amount of miles away? You used to do that too.
Yeah, so in there's certain amount of miles,
yeah.
and then for military service, you have other kind of exemptions, like, things that you can't kind of control. But there are still some time requirements that kind of can affect like how much money you might get back. So obviously you can fully cancel. This one does apply with the 3 days. So like by midnight of signing the contract, and there's certain ones, if there might be extras in your contract that you're on the hook for, but really it's just kind of, you don't have to go in. There are ways to get around it, and just kind of call and just keep record of your calls that you're trying to do with this too. I think that's also a main thing.
All right. We keeping track of questions here. If there are any, let me know. Well, let's move on though. In the meantime, we'll move on to charities. This is a good one. I love looking at charities and I like finding those that are bad. Okay. I like the bad stuff. Those that are bad, and they're taking advantage of people, because what's worse than that? The charity, you wanting to help somebody, and then they're just
a non-charitable
people.
charity.
A non-charity, yeah. And I remember taking that. Man, we had this was a couple years ago, but there was one called Breast Cancer Society, and we were notified by a breast cancer patient that their warehouse was empty and there wasn't anything. We looked into them. We did a bunch of stories on them. They ended up disbanding. Most of the people who were in charge of it were family members and that kind of thing. It was really interesting. But anyway, all right. This is Charity Navigator. If you are interested at the beginning of the year, a lot of us are really philanthropic and think, boy, got a little extra money here, right?
Or at the end of the year, you're trying to get that tax refund.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe not as philanthropic.
Let's do that. Well, that doesn't get you as far as it used to, I don't think. I think with state taxes it does, but I don't know about the government, federal government. But anyway, this is Charity Navigator, and they're good. And they do a really good job of, you put in the charity that you're looking at, and they'll tell you whether or not it's, rates well with their criteria, and they have a number of criteria. We won't get to that yet, but Charity Navigator is one. Give, I think through BBB is one. Gosh, there's so many others. I'll remember them as we go through this. But let's go to the next one, Julie. Charity Navigator. This one, I looked up American Red Cross just to see. 99% they give it, and they look at these various categories here for
impact and results.
Yeah, impact and results, accountability and finance, culture and community, leadership and adaptability. A lot of times you want to know where the money's really going, and they can break that down. A lot of these places have to file. They'll tell you if they didn't file it, but they have to file, I think it's a 990 report, a schedule 990 that they have to file with the government that shows exactly where the money's going. And you can see a lot of, the lesser charities, the ones that are trying to scam you, will just make stuff up, and you kind of see it. Some of it's just poorly worded.
Like they haven't filed, or they're just kind of like, the website's kind of wonky.
Or they'll tell you, in some cases, they'll tell you what the money's used for. And you also want to know how much of the percentage of the money you give per dollar goes to the actual charity. And that can be done through a 992. So you want to make sure they file their financial reports. Take a look at those things. And I know that I'm talking to you and you're saying, you know what, I just want to give a little bit of money to the people. I don't want to do all this work, to see if the money's, but it is worth doing. It takes you maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes to kind of look, just to make sure that you're picking a good charity, because there are a lot of sound alikes, and you can't go wrong with the big names, but
or even if they're just registered correctly.
yeah.
Like the Secretary of State's office, they have to be registered. Although they do have a disclaimer on the Secretary of State's website, because I was looking up one the other day, that basically says, this just proves that they're registered. Not necessarily, it doesn't go through the financials, everything like that. It proves that. So you might find them there. But then the IRS also has their own kind of search engine, I guess, not engine, but like searchable database. There you go. Where you can kind of look them up, see if they filed and kind of things like that. I don't think it goes as in depth as this, but that can be kind of like a cursory. Did they? Because if someone doesn't even go through the process of registering, probably not gonna.
But it's really interesting because some of the stuff they put on these reports, and I mean, in some of the, if you also look at, and they can hide it, but also some don't. Because I think they're lazy, and they'll put like the people in charge, like the president, and they all have the same last name, and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just a really, really nice family, doing a good thing, or are they taking a lot of the money, because they're all family members, and that's what you kind of have to question. So,
well, that's what I like too. Also seeing like when they're registered, because you have to put like an address. So if it has a base that's like just one of the things that we see with just a lot of scams in general, a PO box, or like. And I found one with like an apartment unit the other day, and I was like,
a UPS box.
Yeah.
We always find those. Like my address is, 549 Main Street. You go to 549. It's in a UPS store.
Yeah.
Number 34. You think it's, a unit number, and it's a little box like this. You think, oh man.
Which, like, to be fair, maybe if they're just starting and they're trying to, grassroots get it going, okay, maybe you have a UPS box for like the first, but that's also why you look up how long have they been registered? How long have they been in business? Because if it's been like 3 years.
Plus, I want an address where I can go back and give them some stuff if I didn't get what I want. If it's a business, I want an address. If it's a PO box, I get it. USPS, if they have a UPS, they just started, but what are they going to do at the UPS store? Sir, we just rent the boxes to these people. I don't know where they are. What do you do? I like, I'm old school, definitely, but I like some brick and mortar place I can go into and say, you didn't take care of this. This wasn't done properly. Who do I talk to about this? All right.
Next one. Okay. So this feels like it's probably intuitive, something you're like, oh, sure, of course I do that. But we get a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but a good amount of people who write into us with complaints. And then what they'll say is kind of what this person did. They haven't looked up their business, or they haven't looked up what they're going to buy before buying it. So this person wrote in, I ordered a pair of hearing aids, but the very next day canceled. Sure, no problem. They charged the credit card, which the person said was fine at the time. They didn't ship the item, and I expected a refund eventually. All of that makes sense. They went through the process of contacting them. They got excuses. And then this person writes, so I checked with the BBB and I noticed over 900 complaints that were very similar to what I experienced. So I'm so glad that they checked with the BBB, and I'm so glad that they looked this up. And I'm so frustrated that they did it after they bought this.
Yeah. We want to do a segment called Before You Let Joe Know. That's what we should probably call it.
Yes.
Before you let Joe know, these are the things you should be doing. That's one of them, right?
Yeah, just looking up a company, kind of seeing, and the BBB is one of the easiest places to look it up. Or like we were saying, look it up, the name of this company, scam, legit, reviews, complaints.
If they need a license, there's a licensing department for that with the state, possibly, depending on if they're contract or whatever. Yeah.
Or even look it up, the company, and then contact.
Yeah.
Because sometimes then you'll find complaints where people are like, I couldn't reach them. I tried this. They only have this number. So this person did go on and they did get their full refund. But
check afterwards.
Yeah. And especially if they had canceled right away.
One thing I want to get to, if we can, is off this, but the story we did today actually aired this morning on ABC15. You can get it at Let Joe Know, abc15.com/Let Joe Know, is about photos use. And this is a time of year when a lot of people want to go on Facebook or whatever. I'm so bad at some of this stuff. So wherever you can put pictures, social media,
Instagram,
TikTok, all these places.
Internet.
Right. The internet. The intranet. You know what? You look at those old places where the internet just started, and you see those, like Katie Couric, I would say, she was like, this thing called the internet, when they're talking, like, it looks so funny. But it's about photos being used, and a guy used a photo from, he has military in the family, and he was using a photo from that he found online in Arlington with a eagle and said, hey, Memorial Day, everybody, we're thinking of you, whatever, where all the military's buried. And 2 years later, he gets a email from a lawyer saying, hey, that's my client's picture. You owe us $7,500. The guy's like, I put it on my Facebook page. I had no idea. Well, he did. It was copyrighted, apparently. The lawyer's pushing him. So just be careful when you take a picture. In fact, I wouldn't take a picture just offline, even like, hey, happy holidays or whatever. And, make sure, I always say, stick with the picture you take or someone you have permission to use, because otherwise it could come back and haunt you. And if you get something like that, don't pay it right away. Ask them for proof of all the things.
Right, like proof that they actually own it, have the copyright. And another thing, we're saying look things up. Google also, you can look up when you look for Google Images, you can look up usage. So if you really don't have a picture of, say holiday lights and you really want one, you can probably Google holiday lights and look up fair use images, free use, like everything like that.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
We're good. Good time. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and every day at ABC15.com/let Joe know. We'll see you next time.